Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kings of the Sport podcast, episode 18. I know it's been a while, it's been a few weeks, but we are back. We're in full swing and we're ready to break down all the action in front engine top fuel eliminator. As always, I'm your host, Darren Williams Jr. Co-host Michael Anderson is out tonight. He'll be back in our next show. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 18 of the Kings of the Sport podcast. We are back in full swing. And I'll tell you what, there was a race this past weekend. It happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Series, the Nitro Nationals. And how about it? Your 2022 Nostalgia Top Fuel Heritage Series champion, Tyler Hilton, got the win. Get this. This is his third win of the season, but third win in a row. Fourth, if you want to go back to the California Hot Rod reunion last season. I'll tell you what, congratulations to Tyler Hilton, Bobby Hilton, and that entire Great Expectations 3 team. They are on a road right now. The freight train continues in front engine top fuel dragster and the Great Expectations 3 team. And guess what? We have Tyler Hilton live tonight here on the Kings of the Sport podcast, and his uncle Michael Hilton will be joining us as well. But I'm done babbling. We're going to go to break. When we come back, your 2022 NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Series top fuel champion Tyler Hilton is next.
If you own a beautiful modern muscle car like this 1320 Challenger, I'm sure you don't want it stolen. Because the Challenger and many other modern vehicles have an easily accessible neutral release strap. That was your coin holder in your central console, and beneath that there's this red cord that someone can pop, put it into neutral, and potentially easily steal your car. But at destroyer1320.com, they have the TDS, Theft Deterrent System, which is a cover over that strap using factory mounting points so that you don't get popped by a thief. So make sure to go to destroyer1320.com using promo code MMR for 15% off and get your Theft Deterrent System TDS and steal the thieves' hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, your 2022 NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Series Top Fuel Champion, Tyler Hilton, and the winner of the most previous race out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Nitro Nationals. How's it going, Tyler, man? Thank you for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. Doing pretty all right.
So like I said, what you and your team, what you guys are doing right now is simply amazing. Third win of the year, third consecutive win in a row, fourth if you want to go back to the California Hot Rod reunion last season. I mean, it's just amazing. You guys are just running roughshod on the whole Nostalgia Top Fuel class right now. Before we get into the details, first off, congratulations on the win. Just kind of give us a rundown of your entire weekend this past weekend out in Tulsa from qualifying up until the final round.
Honestly, it was kind of rough. I mean, qualifying, we had some issues during qualifying, Q1 and Q2, and then for Q3, we made a pretty big change, and it went right down the racetrack straight to number 2. So that was good. Then eliminations, it just went along like it did. Then in the final round, we ended up meeting Mike and the other side of the team in the final round, which was pretty neat for his first race, making it all the way to the final round. Fresh car, fresh driver, fresh team. So that was pretty cool.
And I can't wait to get your uncle on in just a little bit. You mentioned that it was kind of rough for you guys at first. This seems to be kind of like a trend for you guys. You guys aren't always the fastest right off the trailer, but you guys, get better as the weekend goes on. Am I correct?
Yeah. I mean, we've always been like that. I don't know. It's just something. It's just part of our deal, I guess. It's hard for us to come out swinging real hard sometimes, trying to get a hold on whatever track we're at and the conditions. So it took us a couple runs, but by the Q3, we had a pretty good idea of what we needed to do for that particular racetrack for that particular weekend. So for our car, for what it wanted. So that's what we did, and it ended up working out.
And I tell you what, you guys turned it around because low ET of eliminations, you ran that in the first round. Congratulations to you right there, taking out the co-host of this show, Michael Anderson, in that first round matchup. So shout out to you guys right there. Let's move into the semifinals now, and we're not going to get into the whole drama behind it and all that. I want to keep it more so on the racetrack. Scheduled opponent was Jim Murphy. Huge championship implications right there. Unfortunately, Jim Murphy cannot make the call. Just give us how much you want to race him in that semifinal, knowing how big of a round that was in terms of the championship.
Oh, of course we wanted to race him, and there's, again, a lot of talk and opinion and different sides of the story as to what went on, which we're not going to go into here tonight. But of course, we wanted to race him. We don't want a single ever. We don't want to buy, run, and get a freebie. That's just not what we want. But that's how it worked out. There was a miscommunication on a few different parties, and that's just how it worked out. So as far as the points deal, it'll play out in Bakersfield. Jim has decided to come to Bakersfield, which is awesome, and we're gonna figure it out there, and we're gonna battle to the end and see what happens.
And I tell you what, it's been an all-out battle between you two this whole season, pretty much. The last two races on tour has been you and Murphy in the final, kind of the old guard versus the new guard. You guys went at it first, final round out at Bowling Green, Kentucky. You got the win in a fabulous drag race. You guys backed that up with another great fabulous drag race in the final round at the Nightfire Nationals in Boise, Idaho. And I tell you what, I'm pretty sure all the fans were looking forward to another Murphy Hilton matchup, this time in the semifinals, like I said, with huge championship implications on the line, knowing it's the penultimate race of the season. Unfortunately, we did not get that, but like you said, it will play out at the final race of the season in Bakersfield, California. Tyler, you have an 82-point lead over Jim Murphy heading to Bakersfield with that's about a 5-round lead with 6 rounds left to go. So I'd say you're in pretty good position, but still a lot of racing left. But
yeah, there's a lot of racing left. I haven't done the math and figured it out myself as to what could or could not happen. But we're just going to go straight into March meet eliminations during qualifying. And we have Jim first round, which is cool. That's great. That's awesome. So if anyone's waiting to see what happens, tune into Bakersfield, because it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be amazing, man. Like you said, you and Jim Murphy, first round of the March meet makeup. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be the first pass on Friday afternoon, because you guys still have a test and tune, I believe, on Thursday, but first pass right out of the box. Like we mentioned, I mean, we just mentioned this a few minutes ago. You guys get better as the weekend goes on. What does the approach have to be now going into Bakersfield, knowing that first pass out is basically with championship implications on the line?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. As far as how we're going to approach it, we're going to really throw all of our eggs into the basket of having a really good test day on Thursday and making at least 2 runs, maybe 3, to really get ourselves in our groove for the weekend. So that's how we're going to approach it, and I think we'll do great.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stone cold look of Tyler Hilton, man. He's locked in. You can see her. He's locked in. I love it.
Guess.
So let's now go back to Tulsa and that amazing race. You get to the final round, and then the final race in family this time. Michael Hilton in the final round in the Hilton family racing team. A little bit of trash talk at all before the final round? Any discussions? What was it like before that final?
No, we shook hands, and that was about it. But I don't know. We were both pretty serious about it. I mean, there was no laying over on either side. It was real racing for sure. I mean, he yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't a gimme at all. We had to drive it to the stripe. So yeah, it was an interesting final round. It had cooled off a lot. The track had gotten a little slick, and I'm just glad we made the choices we did, because we squeaked it out there at the end and got the win. So, but it was cool to see him in his first race, his debut race, and end up all the way in the final round. They made some really good runs that weekend, in qualifying. So, yeah, it was really cool.
No, and it was. And I was watching along at home, watching live, and you talk about a Saturday night under the lights, top frontage and top field cars, header flames, final round. It was a great final round between you and your uncle, and you got the win. And like you said, he's adapted to this car really fast. First official race, and he gets to the final round. You couldn't ask for anything better than that, I would think.
Yeah. He we went to Norwalk back in July to finish his license, and he was really starting to get into the groove and starting to feel the car and stuff, I could tell. So yeah, him and his whole crew, they worked their butts off last weekend, the whole weekend. So hats off to them for doing such a great job.
So obviously one side it's his son, and then the other side it's his brother. He's the crew chief, I'm assuming, on both cars. Where does he stand on the starting line? Does he stand right in the middle, or does he stand on one side? Where does your dad stand?
Oh, he's all in with us, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Johnny Davis is a crew chief on Mike's car. So
gotcha.
He calls the shots over there, and That's his crew. So
Gotcha. And then so you got the win, and then your dad actually texted me that night. I think it's a little bit of a tradition too, but after you guys win, it's always the Waffle House afterwards, correct?
yeah, I mean, we tried to, I guess. We were breaking down and working until like 2:30 trying to get everything loaded up. So it was a late night for sure.
What's your go-to Waffle House order? Because the only reason why I ask is because I'm from LA. I'm from Southern California. There's no Waffle Houses out here. So whenever I get to the Midwest or the South or anything like that, I have to hit either a Cracker Barrel or a Waffle House. I always get waffles, grits, eggs, sausage, all that. So what's your go-to order?
I usually just get hash browns, man, smothered and covered. Okay. Yeah, that's my go-to. And whatever else I'm feeling, but that's always that's a definite every time.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Got a comment here from Curtis Carr. He says, Saturday night under the lights, there's nothing better. And then Randy Long, he comments, Stone Cold Killer, talking about you right there. And then Dylan Wybnevsky, badass field altar driver. Can't wait to watch this. Thanks for tuning in, man. And then Larry Gotcha says, I'm here. Hi, Darren. Thank you for tuning in, Larry. Really do appreciate it. And Emily Tara says, what's up? Thank you for tuning in, Emily. I really do appreciate it. And thank you guys all for tuning in to episode 18 of the Kings of the Sport podcast. Darren Williams Jr., along with your champion from this past weekend at the Nitro Nationals, your top field champion, Tyler Hilton. So, Tyler, like I said, 3 consecutive wins in a row. 4 if you want to go back to last season. You guys, I know it's going to be tough going to Bakersfield, but are you guys kind of thinking a little sweep here in 2023 at all? Sweep this season?
Yeah, we'll take what we can get. It's been a great season so far. I'm not ready to end it yet. Of course, we'd want to sweep it, right? That'd be the perfect. That hasn't happened since Bartone did it in 2014, I think. So, yeah, that'd be really sweet. But winning the points deal is kind of our main goal right now. That's our main goal.
And like you mentioned, putting together one of the greatest seasons in frontage and top field history in quite a while. So like I said, 1 race left to go. It's 2-1, but with an 82-point lead, like I said, still a lot of racing left. Anything can happen. But for you to be on the cusp of a second championship right now, what's going through your mind, Rand? How much of a dream are you living right now?
Just trying to get it done, man. I mean, it's all work, right? It's all one of these cars. These cars are just everything you got all the time at the track, in the shop, at home. You got to be all in on it all the time. I mean, that's what we were doing tonight. We stripped both cars, got the motors out, doing our normal thing, our normal at the shop back after a race service. So, yeah, just trying to stay focused and trying to finish on a high note here for 2023 and do the best we can.
How are you going to stay sane till then? Because we got about a month or about 3 weeks.
Yeah, we don't have long. No, we don't have long, and we got to load up 3 or 4 days ahead of time to get there, and leave. So just staying busy. I mean, there's plenty of work, like I said, to be done. So just staying busy and hitting that practice tree and just trying to keep sane.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, man, I really do appreciate your time. Like I said, what you and your team are doing right now, you and your dad, your dad, obviously the crew chief, the whole crew, and then you as a driver, what you guys are doing right now is just simply amazing. Like I said, 3 consecutive wins in a row. I'm going to keep saying it because it's amazing. 3 consecutive wins in a row, 3 wins so far. The only winner right now, 9 consecutive round wins, and then 4 race wins in a row if you want to go back to last season. Just simply, you're doing a great job behind the wheel. Your dad's doing a great job making the calls on this car. The crew's doing a great job. So congratulations to you guys and continue the great success, and best luck to you in Bakersfield.
Thanks. I want to say just real quick, hats off to our crew because they are the ones that make it go. I just get to sit in it and try not to screw it all up. So I just wanted to throw that out there. They're doing the best job, and everyone is working, and it's really working out. So just wanted to throw that out there.
No, definitely. Like I said, Tyler, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in Bakersfield in a few weeks.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Hilton, your 2022 NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Series Nostalgia Top Field Champion, dominated season so far here in 2023. Like I said, the last driver in Top Field to sweep the season was Tony Bartone, 2014. Kroger Sucks 45. He has a comment. He says, what happened with Jim Murphy in the semifinals? We're going to get to that in just a little bit. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk a little bit. And after that, we're going to bring on Tyler Hilton's uncle, Mike Hilton, in just a little bit. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. If I can find a commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kings of the Sport podcast, episode 18. As always, I'm your host, Darren Williams Jr. Co-host Michael Anderson is not here tonight. He'll be back on our next show. And like you guys just all saw, our last guest right here, Tyler Hilton, your winner from this past weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Nitro Nationals, third consecutive win in a row on the season, third win this season. There's only been 3 races. He's pretty much swept the season so far. 4, if you want to go back to last season, that is 9 consecutive round wins. He is your points leader and starting to pull away. He has an 82-point lead over Jim Murphy heading into the final race of the season in Bakersfield, California, Famoso Drag Strip. But remember, it is 2 races in one out in Bakersfield in just a few weeks. The March Meet Makeup on Friday and Saturday. Round 1 will be ran Friday afternoon, and then the semis and the finals will be ran on Saturday afternoon with the regular race. The newly named NHRA Nostalgia Nationals, Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals, will be ran on Sunday. So before we move on, obviously we got to talk about the elephant in the room. Big announcement. Jim Murphy announced his retirement at the end of the season. He will be retiring after the final race of the season in Bakersfield, California. And we got to kind of rewind back a little bit because, like we mentioned, like we talked with Tyler, there was a big time semifinal matchup that was supposed to happen between Tyler Hilton and Jim Murphy. Huge championship implications. They were only separated by 42 points going in that. Jim Murphy, who was a serious contender for the championship, needed to make that round and needed to win that round to keep his championship hopes alive. Unfortunately, had a problem in the first round. Was back in the pits. It took him a while to get up to the starting line. They were thrashing as best as they could. Unfortunately, the track, Bobby McClendon had to make a call. They ran the semifinal without Jim. And unfortunately for Jim and his team, they were pretty perturbed and pretty disappointed with the decision that Bobby McClendon and the track made that weekend. Bobby McClendon made a statement, and I see both sides. You know, for Jim, he's in the middle of a championship battle. I think you got to do whatever you can to let that race happen for the fans, for the class, everything. That race needs to go down. Tyler Hilton, Jim Murphy semifinals has to go down. Championship implications on the line has to go down. But also I see the other side. You got to show the run. There's plenty of other classes out there. It's getting late in the afternoon. You got to make a call. So I'm not choosing any side. I just wish we were able to see that battle between Hilton and Murphy, because both battles they've had so far this season out at Bowling Green for the Hot Rod Reunion, the new Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals, and again in Firebird Raceway, the Nightfire Nationals, both final rounds were amazing drag races. Amazing. And I'll tell you what, they would have put on a show once again in the semifinals out at Tulsa. Well, with the decision of Jim Murphy not being able to make the round right there and keep his championship hopes alive, in the moment, they said they were done. Jim said he was packing up. He's retiring. He's done. He had a few days to think about it. He actually made a statement today on Facebook. He said that, yes, you know, they were just disappointed with the decision. And other things behind the scenes. It's not just this. Other things that happen behind the scenes that I don't know, above my pay grade, other things that happen. He said he did decide to retire. He had a few days to think about it. He said, hey, we will be in Bakersfield after all. We're going to race for it. But after Bakersfield, we're done. And I got to say, Jim Murphy's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in racing. He's a legend. Has raced Nitro funny cars. Has raced frontage and top field dragsters. He's won championships. He's won countless races. 4 March Meet wins. I know he wanted 5 to tie Big Daddy Don Garlitz. But Jim Murphy, salute to you. If you're really done after the California Hot Rod Reunion, again, the Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals, I salute to you on an amazing career. Has been nothing but nice to me. Jim Murphy is one of the nicest guys I've ever met in racing. Holy smokes, baby. Holy smokes. It's going to be sad to see you go. But I tell you what, Jim Murphy has done it all. He's proved it all. I think he has nothing else to prove. But I tell you what, he's going to go down swinging for this championship. Salute to you, Jim Murphy. You're one of the best. And thank you for everything you've done in the class for nostalgia. Top fuel eliminator. I wish I had a picture right there for Jim Murphy, but that's pretty much, just wanted to talk a little bit about the elephant in the room. I was busy covering the race in Reading this past weekend that I didn't get to fully, tap in and see what was happening in Tulsa. I caught the final round, and I didn't know about the whole deal in the semifinals until I think yesterday. You could see, explanation of a guy from Jim Murphy's team explain what went on. Just an unfortunate event. Like I said, for the class, for the fans, I feel like that semifinal round should have went down. But again, I get it. You got to make the call, and it is what it is. Curtis Carr says, agreed, Darren, Jim Murphy is the GOAT. He's been doing it for forever. And yes, he has. Yes, he has. Okay, now moving on. So there's this race happening this upcoming weekend. The Nitro Chaos Finale. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because our man, Grand Prix Racing. Oh, got to do it. Hold on. I'm sorry. Jim Moody, he's just commenting right here. He said, Jim Murphy, great guy. I definitely do agree with that. Definitely do agree with that. One of the best to ever do it. That's one of the best to ever do it. The Mystic says that rail car running K24. So that. But like I said, before I got sidetracked, big time race this weekend in Lufkin, Texas, Pine Valley Raceway, the Nitro Chaos Finals. Our man, Gary Wheeler Jr., is one of the contestants for the championship. He's going to give his big-time drivers like Megan Meyer, Todd Bruce, Joseph Gallegos. But if you're a fan of Front Engine Top Fuel, you need to be rooting on Gary Wheeler because he's in the thick of the battle for that Nitro Chaos Championship, which goes down this weekend in Pine Valley Raceway, Lufkin, Texas. Gave a big salute to Jim Murphy. Salute to our guy, Gary Wheeler Jr. Gary Wheeler Jr., a great guy, always in the comments, supporting our show. Good luck to you this weekend and bring home that championship for all the fans of Front Engine Top Fuel. Russ Smith has a comment right here. Says, hey, Cal, got you covered. We're just a few minutes away from bringing on Michael Hilton, your runner-up from this past weekend at the Nitro Nationals in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Before I do that, just a little bit more news before we move on. Just a little bit more news. So I don't know if you guys heard, our man Dar Hawthorne has come up with a pretty cool program. The Real Kings of the Sport. Basically, the champion, the 2023 champion in Nitro Funny Car and the 2023 champion in Top Fuel Eliminator will go head-to-head in the first session of qualifying on Friday at the 2024 March meet for all the glory to see who's the real king of the sport. I'll tell you what, that's going to be awesome. Cash and a belt is on the line. Top Fuel versus Funny Car. The real kings of the sport. That's going to be awesome. I know who all you guys are rooting for here in the comments. But the way it's looking like right now, like I said, it's still a long way to go in the Top Fuel Championship. Congratulations to Bobby Cottrell. He wrapped up the Funny Car Championship this past weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Nitro Nationals. 6 consecutive Funny Car Championship for Bobby Cottrell. Congratulations to Bobby Cottrell, Bucky Austin, Mike O'Brien, and the entire Bardall team for picking up another championship. The dominance continues in Nostalgia Funny Car. But Q1 at the March meet, the real kings of the sport, Top Fuel versus Funny Car. And the way it's looking is going to be Tyler Hilton versus Bobby Cottrell for all the money and the belt. Let's see how it all plays out. 3 minutes away from Michael Hilton. We're going to bring him on just a little bit. But last little bit of news right here that I want to go over. And it's a sad news. My condolences to one of the legends in drag racing, Walt Austin. Drew Austin posted on his social media just the other day the passing of his grandfather, the legend Walt Austin. He's done so much in the world of drag racing. I met Walt Austin a few years ago. So when Drew won his first race out of Bakersfield back in 2021, I met Walt Austin that day. Super nice guy. The whole family is nice. Pat is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Walt is so nice. Drew is so nice. And I was so hurt when I saw the passing of Walt Austin. Always by his son's side, whether it was Top Alcohol Funny Car or Top Fuel Eliminator. Walt Austin was always there. Whether it was Nostalgia Funny Car with his grandson, Drew, Walt was always there, rooting him on. He was the crew chief on that Top Fuel dragster and the Top Alcohol Funny Car when Pat Austin was running roughshod over the Top Alcohol class in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. My condolences to the entire Austin family on the passing of Walt. One of the best to ever do it. My condolences to the entire team and family. Super sad right there. So that's pretty much all the news I have right there. Went over to Jim Murphy, Gary Wheeler, and like I said, my condolences to Walt Austin and the entire Austin family. Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Hilton is up next.
Power Built Tools exemplifies innovation in the tool industry. From hand tools, power tools, and even tool storage, Check out powerbuilt.com for power-built tools. And remember, use promo code MMR15 for 15% off at purchase.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
Mike, how's it going, man? Welcome to Kings of the Sport podcast.
Pretty good. We're doing good.
Where are you at right now? I see a lot of cool stuff in the background right there.
Oh, man, I could walk you through it if you want here in a minute, but
let's do it. We got time.
Oh, so yeah, here's where the two that were in Tulsa, they get to sleep together. Yeah, there's Bobby and Tyler Chevy ride out of Tulsa. Steve Gibbs and all of them were wanting to have the Hannah car show up, but I couldn't get it out. Can you see it?
I got you. Yeah, I can see it. I see it perfectly.
Yeah, this was my dad's top gas car from Ford. Tyler restored it. Did a great job on that. There's the rest of the Hannah car. Trying to take care of it. It collects a little bit of dust. There's some scenes from early days. My dad's top gas car from '69. There's the Ram Chargers car. That's the first Woody car they had built, and first late model Hemi to run in a top fuel car. Mom Paul Hoover's car. This was pre-Streamliner days with Dale Funk. They always like to put girls on the cow. Just other stuff through here. We decided to get me in something to go down the track, not just sit around and look at. So that's why I ended up with a car. To 65 years, I was never had one down the track. So we finally got one together for me.
So let's start there then, Mike. Let's start there because, like you said, you've been around this your entire life, watching your brother race, and then obviously your nephew race.
No, my dad.
Why now? Your dad racing. Yeah, exactly. Why now?
Yeah. Because I can afford it, I guess. I can afford to go broke. No, it when it was only a year ago. Bobby was coming back from Tulsa, and things didn't look good. So what a difference a year makes. We found a car that was very similar to what they have, and we thought we could put one together. It could be competitive. And my crew chief, which I can't thank enough, is Johnny Davis, who was with Jim Head forever. Brought back one of his old crewmen that went to Tulsa with us, Randy Potter, and another older fella named Larry. He's an old tough bird. We probably had the oldest crew out there. If you accumulated the ages of all of our crew, we had two guys come in that run a chaos car that Tyler drives with. And those guys, Cliff and Dennis, took care of the bottom end. And Randy took care of the top with Johnny, and I still did the gopher work. That tends to be where I end up with most of the times, but somebody's got to do it.
Hey, Mike, age, nothing but a number. Nothing but a number. You guys still got the job done, qualified well, went to the final round. I gotta ask you though, like you mentioned, you could finally afford it now and not go broke. But did you ever always have aspirations of driving a top fuel car?
Oh, we were pushing each other out of the way when we were kids to sit in the car, my brother and I. My mom used the cockpit of the car as the baby carriage to leave us, so we could keep out of everybody's way till we got old enough to work on them. And then, my dad would give me a can of brass, so my brother one, and see who could polish the wheel the shiniest. But Bobby stayed on it more, and he got the first ride in the car, and things happened, and we didn't have a car no more. So life went on, and I worked for a funny car team for a while, and the Barbarian Funny Car out of Pineville, West Virginia. And I learned real quick that if I'm going to work that hard, I might as well own my own business. So I stayed out of all kinds of racing for a while and got into some unlimited go-kart racing, and took it from there. My dad liked all of it, so we kept busy with it. In 2017, we got the NHRA gave us a Lifetime Achievement Award, which was nice. All three of us were down there to accept that. We did. That's his whole life was involved with that, and so they refinanced a little house in Sharonville, Ohio, about a dozen times so they could keep drag racing.
And I tell you what, Phil Burgess, great NHRA writer, he did a great piece on you guys a few years back, and I love reading that and going back and learning about the history of you and your family, from your dad to your brother and everything like that, and just the different generations of the Hilton family. Just going back on now, back to when your brother was driving, even before that, just kind of talk a little bit of the sibling rivalry between you and your brother. Was it ever there?
No, I blacked his eye a couple times. We'd fight in the alley. My dad said we could take the car to go up to a race in Michigan, and we didn't get out of the alley before we were in the alley rolling around deciding who was going to drive the tow truck or what we were going to do or how we were going to do it. I think we blew everything up before the old man got to the racetrack there after work. So not a lot of rivalry. He bought me these nice shirts. He's got a certain way he likes to do things, and he didn't want me coming up to the starting line in a tattered old T-shirt. So he bought us. He bought me some nice He bought our crew a nice group of T-shirts, or a nice group of shirts. No,
so like you mentioned,
there wasn't a big rivalry. He did his thing and I did mine. And he went to Virginia with his sweetheart, and I stayed here at home and conducted business.
And so, like you mentioned, both you guys always had aspirations of driving. You've always had aspirations of driving, but Bobby got the ride first, and then you come back and you guys don't have a ride anymore, and you kind of get away from drag racing a little bit. And then when did you kind of put it in Bobby's ear, or even in your family's ear, to say, hey, like I actually want to start driving now. Like this is what I want to do.
One day I said, hey, we're going to Florida to look at a car. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Michael Anderson had a car, actually, that had a nice Sterling car. Matter of fact, it's for sale if somebody wants one. A Sterling car that just seemed like a good car to get in and inexpensively get your license. You could make enough runs and not tear enough stuff up. But Johnny Davis suggested that get a good ride that you're going to stay in, that you invest your money and your effort into, and that's the one you're going to drive and we'll work on. So we went to Florida and looked at Richard and Cody Crone's car, and it had enough good parts in it that we figured that would make a good car. Took me a few more laps than we thought to get the license, but took me 2 years to get through third grade too.
Hey, something about third grade, right? It's just hard. I don't know what it is about third grade.
The teacher didn't like me. Yeah, the teacher didn't like me.
And
But
so speaking of your licensing deal, and I was following along because, Bobby kept me informed and everything like that. Just kind of talk about, give us a rundown of how the licensing went, because I believe you guys started at Indy, right? That was when you first got in the car, was Indy with this car.
I went to Frank Holly's. I own a half a dozen cars that I could get licensed in, and I thought, well, I'll just do my own thing. Tyler and Bobby convinced me that Frank was the way to go, and I get down there and I look back, and it was just, more of a confidence booster. I had that Panic fuel altered, and we took it down to the local track and made 5 laps in one afternoon. And come to find out, I didn't have my physical at the right time, so those didn't count. So the time went on, and this car came available, and Indy, the car moved around a little bit more than I thought, and we fixed a few things and got her to go a little straight. I found out it wasn't all my fault. Couple laps down there, I was sitting there thinking, maybe it is. Maybe I'm just old and can't do it. But Bowling Green, we didn't have the crew chief with us. It's tough to split Bobby up amongst, 2 operations. He thinks he can do it. He normally can, but it gets hectic. So, and then went to Norwalk, and you couldn't ask for a better track. Those guys are great up there. That's just a wonderful track, and made 2 passes, and a couple guys were like, I didn't think you drove it all the way through. And well, the third pass, I drove it all the way through further, and I thought, I think we went almost 258 something. So they said, yeah, you did drive it all the way through. So that sealed my license. We decided to go to Tulsa. Johnny Davis and I, we were the drivers and towed it out there. The crew showed up, and we did pretty good, I thought.
Oh, no, you guys did real well. Like I said, you qualified well, went to the final round in your first official Heritage Series race. I mean, don't get no better than that. Before we actually talk about Tulsa, though, obviously, a front engine top fuel dragster, one of the baddest vehicles in the world, not just in drag racing, but in the world. Just kind of talk about your experience the first time, jump behind the wheel and feeling that sheer power, that 4,000 horsepower of a front engine top fuel dragster.
I get more scared when the IRS sends me a letter. But it's serious stuff. So I take it serious, and it's a matter of fact. This is what it's, got to happen. You got to do it. And it got my attention. So it, every lap things tend to slow down a little bit more. You can, get a feel for it. And, if you forget to put your earplugs in.
That is true. Yes.
That is true.
As
I don't want to be like Bobby and my dad. I want to keep my hearing. I think Tyler does a good job of his ear protection. But
hey, I'll tell you what. Last year at Bakersfield, I'm interviewing Tyler right in the pits. He just won the race. Interviewing Tyler, everything's going well. Won the championship, won the race, great night. Well, Bobby comes walking through. Bobby is literally probably 2 feet from me, 2 or 3 feet from me. I go, Bobby. I'm yelling Bobby at the top of my lungs. Does not hear me at all. Doesn't hear me at all. I'm like, Tyler goes.
He's got a good set of hearing aids. He's got a good set. So when he puts them in, they work right. But yeah,
Tyler was like, he can't hear you, man. He can't hear you.
No. My one of the guys on our crew said, the oldest guy said, man, he said, your brother don't like me. He won't talk to me. I said, oh shit, he just can't hear you. And so
exactly.
once they got together off to the side, it worked, and it found out, he can talk to you.
Let's now move forward to Tulsa. Like we mentioned, first official race in the NHRA Heritage Series. You get to the final round. Got through some tough competition also to get to that final round. And then, to race your nephew, Tyler Hilton, in the final, a strong car, like I said, having an all-time great season. But for you to come up just a little bit short, and you made a good run in the final as well, wasn't far off pace, to get that far in your first race. Are you starting to just feel that hunger of actually want to race now that you got so far?
Yeah, but I could quit right now and say I only lost one race.
That is true.
Yeah, I've won everything, but yeah. But no, we'll I'm competitive. I just don't get out there and do a lot of rah-rah, and just sort of we go out there and get the job done. And I think we're gathering up a crew like everybody else. It's tough to get 5 people that want to work that hard. It's tough enough to find people to work in a business. But yeah, it's we'll keep them together and make some more laps. I don't know when the next race will be. We were thinking about heading out there to California next month, but I got a business I got to run and take care of, and somebody's got to pay for the lights in the shop here.
That's important.
Yeah. But no, it was good. Hell, I had him at 30 feet. I had him at 60, 300, 600, 1,000 foot. Boom. I said, who put the oil on my visor? So that happened a couple times. So, that it was close for a while. If I'd have beat him, I don't know if I'd have got the bounty money. Somebody might have said that it was team orders or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
You're not officially baptized or christened in front of the top field until you get oil on the visor, right?
Yeah, I guess I didn't think I need to be baptized that many times though. or the amount of oil may be different. I think whatever covers up the cowl, the visor, the chute, I'd say, yeah, that's one. We've had a few of them, but a little bang.
Gotta get the tear off like Adam Sorokin. Just tear it right off.
I don't know how you can do it that fast. I raced a lot of stuff on dirt, and I had at least a lap to tear the tear off. These are it's a little you got to be pretty damn quick. It's tough enough time to get the chutes, let alone grab something on your face mask. But I don't know how them guys used to do it with a little pair of goggles. I guess it might have been easier. You could just wipe it off with your fire suit.
Hey, those guys back in the day, they were crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like you mentioned, may make the trek out to California in a month, but like I said, it seems like you're having so much fun, driving behind the wheel right now. Great time out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What are the plans moving forward? Do you guys plan on racing the full time next year, and maybe going for the championship, or what's the deal for next year?
The stars aren't aligned. That's we might make 2 or 3 races next year.
Mm-hmm.
We might go to that chaos race down here at Edgewater. That's sort of a local track. We still got some old guys that used to hang around when we were kids. They'd like to see us do something local. They don't want to travel, so that's a pretty good little event. Tyler may get get that Dennis the Menace card dialed in down there. So that's it's an interesting race. That 8th mile, and sort of run what you brung, but it's fun racing. I was down to 2 of them. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, my buddy Lee Craft, the Monday Morning Racer, he's the pit reporter for Funny Car Chaos and Nitro Chaos. He does a great job for that whole series, and he's been trying his hardest to get me out there for either a Funny Car Chaos race or a Nitro Chaos race, and was going to try to make it down to Lufkin this upcoming weekend for the finals, but unfortunately not going to be able to make it. But I'll try to get out to one next year for sure. Those chaos races, they're pretty fun. Yeah.
If you're in Cincinnati, and anybody that's coming through this neck of the woods, if they want to, this isn't like Gartlis's. We don't charge admission, but you can come on in and take a look, and we got a lot of stuff to look at.
Mike,
and if you want to work on something, you can help. Somebody said they wanted to polish on that Hannah car. We'll give them plenty of rags and metal polish.
Hey, I'm just saying. I know I probably can't do it with Tyler's car because he's in the middle of a championship. But if anybody out there in Bakersfield wants me to warm up their car, I'm here. I'm down to do it. I want to feel 4,000 horses. So just putting it out there. Just saying. I love warm up your car.
We put Bobby back in the car. Well, he didn't tell me. I was away from the car and somebody said, get in it. Well, you couldn't get in it fast enough. He jumped in. So, yeah, we'll let you. And if we're going to let him warm it up, we'll let you warm it up.
Okay. And I won't forget my headphones either. I won't forget my earplugs.
We wouldn't let you do that.
Mike, for you, man, like I said, you've always had aspirations of driving. You're doing it a lot later now in your life. Could you say you're living a dream right now?
Now, my dream, my daughter's looking at a college down in Tennessee tonight. So that's my dreams to get her through school. She's 17 and I'm 65. I'm a late bloomer and all of that. So, that would be to see her do that. So, but yeah, it's dreaming. I don't know. It's so much work. It's almost a nightmare.
I got you, man. I got you. Before I let you go, Mike, and I appreciate your time. We talked about this over the phone yesterday. I want to hear some really good stories from back in the day, whether it's you and your dad on the road or with you and your brother and your dad on the road. Just give us some pretty good stories if you could think of any right now.
Norm Reese was a world champion comp coupe racer. He owned a facility in Cincinnati called Stereo Pack, where we ran our race cars out of that shop. He was a playboy. He was involved in the Playboy Club, and a lot of times he'd bring the bunnies to the racetrack. But 13 years old, Bobby's 14. He brings Miss Nude Universe to our family Christmas party. Pink Cadillac, got a pink mink coat on. My mom says, answer the door. I answer the door. She says, take her coat. She's naked as a jaybird underneath. Just naked. Interrupted the card game, the Christmas party. She says, take her upstairs and get her a T-shirt. So Norm, it didn't bother him a bit, but it affected our family Christmas party that year. So, but he was a great racer, an innovative guy. But one like that, that's sort of what sort of makes you a little different. Our whole group can be a little different. We were raised around older people with some interesting lives. My mom was probably one of the best push car tow truck drivers around. She'd make sure and get us to the track, get us home, get us to school. She passed away too young, but I'd like to have seen her see me in a car. That would have been one thing. So she made sure Bobby made it to school, and she made sure that we got home after the end of every race. But she put gave up a lot to make sure all her boys got to do something. But,
for sure. No, definitely. And I'll tell you what, like I said, moms are the best. And I'm pretty sure, she's looking down right now, proud of what you're doing right now. And like I said, making it to the final round this past weekend, I'm pretty sure that would have made her proud. That would have made her so much proud. And great to see how were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, man, like I said, I'm pretty sure she's looking down, just super proud of not only your performance, but your whole family's performance, this year and just everything you guys are doing in Nostalgia Frontage and Top Fuel Eliminator. So I love it. So somebody in the comments said, is the Hannah car going to be a Nitro Revival?
It can't be. I had some people want to take the Ram Chargers car up to Detroit here a few months ago for their biggest Ram Charger reunion. I can't get it out. There's just too much stuff in front of everything. I told Steve, I said, man, if anybody wants to see it and pet it and come look at it, they can do it. The doors are open anytime if they want to come through Cincinnati. But to get it out there is just impossible for me to do it on my own. It's just, and then you still got to service it. It's sat now for a while, so. Yeah, you gotta, it's I think, the fellow that helped him run it, it's a little different. It isn't just something you can fire right up. You sure wouldn't want to hurt Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper's the man. When I picked it up, he was pretty serious about, it's got a couple little, things that make it a little difficult. You just can't jump in there and fire it right up.
I got you. No, I got you. I can't wait for Nitro Revival though. I'll be there. I believe that's in November, right? Yeah. A week before the World Finals. So I'll be there in Irwindale Speedway for Nitro Revival. Always a great event. So many cool Capco cars on the property. It's a really cool deal. If you guys are in the Southern California area, make sure to make it to Nitro Revival. It's a really cool deal out there. Well, Mike, man, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're a busy man to come here on the Kings of the Sport podcast, and look forward to seeing you at the racetrack soon, man.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care. Bye.
If you own a beautiful modern muscle car like this 1320 Challenger, I'm sure you don't want it stolen. Because the Challenger and many other modern vehicles have an easily accessible neutral release strap. That was your coin holder in your central console, and beneath that there's this red cord that someone can pop, put it into neutral, and potentially easily steal your car. But at destroyer1320.com, they have the TDS, Theft Deterrent System, which is a cover over that strap using factory mounting points so that you don't get popped by a thief. So make sure to go to destroyer1320.com using promo code MMR for 15% off and get your Theft Deterrent System TDS and steal the thieves' hope.
Oh, wow. Mike Hilton's still here. I guess he doesn't want to leave. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kings of the Sport podcast, episode 18. As always, I'm your host, Darren Williams Jr., co-host Michael Anderson. He is out for tonight, but he will be back for episode 19 in just a few weeks. And thank you to our guest, Tyler Hilton, your 2022 NHRA Heritage Series Top Fuel champion, and then Top Fuel newcomer and rookie, his uncle, Mike Hilton, who made it to the final round in his first ever start in the NHRA Heritage Series this past weekend in Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Nitro Nationals. Thank you guys all for tuning in. And obviously, it's been a while since we've done a show. Usually we do a show on Wednesday, but unfortunately had other commitments last night. So we moved the show to Thursday night, and we still had a great crowd. So I really do appreciate that. And so, just a little rundown before we get out of here. Again, congratulations to Tyler Hilton, his father, Bobby Hilton, and that entire Great Expectations 3 team. They are running roughshod right now over the class and holds an 82-point lead over Jim Murphy heading into the final race of the season finale, the NHRA Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals from iconic Famoso Drag Strip in Bakersfield, California. Also, we're all fans of Front Engine Top Fuel. Make sure to tune in and support our man, Gary Wheeler Jr. He is going for the Nitro Chaos Championship this weekend, which actually kicks off qualifying tomorrow at Lufkin, Texas, Pine Valley Raceway, the Nitro Chaos finale, going up against big-time players like Megan Meyer, Todd Bruce, and I'll tell you what, that Gallega's gang and Mitch King and his whole team, they'll be out there. It's going to be tough competition, so make sure to tune in and root on our man, Gary Wheeler Jr. And also, per our man, Dar Hawthorne, Dar, the funny car czar, putting up a program, The Real Kings of the Sport. Q1, Friday afternoon, out at the March meet, the 2024 March meet, your 2023 Top Fuel champion will go head-to-head against your 2023 Funny Car champion for money and a real cool-looking belt to see who's the real Kings of the Sport in the NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Series. And finally, condolences to the entire Austin family. They lost their patriarch, Walt Austin, a legend in the world of drag racing. He's always by his son's side, Pat Austin, always by his grandson's side, Drew Austin, crew chief when Pat Austin was running roughshod in the top alcohol funny car class back in the day. So sad to see the passing of Walt Austin. My condolences to that whole family and that whole team. Not sure who our guests are in a couple of weeks, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. Our regular scheduled day, Wednesday, 6:15 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time for episode 19 of the Kings of the Sport podcast. If you like what you saw here today, make sure to like this show and share this show and let everybody know this is where we talk everything front engine top fuel. I tell you what, I am so excited. We're just a few weeks away from the season finale in the NHRA Hot Rod Heritage Series, the Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals. The Funny Car Championship is locked up. Congratulations to Bobby Cottrell. He won it in Nostalgia Funny Car. That is his sixth consecutive Nitro Funny Car Championship in the Heritage Series. Congratulations to Cottrell, Bobby Cottrell, Bucky Austin, the team owner and the crew chief, Michael Bryan, and that entire Bardog Green Machine team, that Bardog Green Camaro, for another amazing season. Remember, they missed the second race of the season, out at Boise Firebird Raceway, the Igniter, just a few months ago, and they still won the championship, locked it up with one race left to go. The sheer dominance continues in Nitro Funny Car for Bobby Cottrell, but the championship is still open in Top Fuel Eliminator. Is going to go down between Tyler Hilton and Jim Murphy. They're separated by 82 points, but remember, it's 2 races in one. The March Meet Makeup will be ran during qualifying. Q1 will be ran Friday afternoon. And guess what? It's Tyler Hilton and Jim Murphy, first round, Friday afternoon. If you're in the Southern California area, make sure to come to Bakersfield, because that is huge championship implications right there. Jim Murphy, if he wants a shot at this championship, he must take out Tyler Hilton first round on Friday. If not, it's going to be looking like Tyler Hilton is going to be a back-to-back champion in Top Fuel Eliminator. I want to take a look at some few comments before we get out of here real quick. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Josh Mosley says, great show, Darren. Everyone have safe travels to the finals. Thank you for tuning in, Josh. I really do appreciate that. Kurt Borden says, Dar, is both Funny Car and Top Fuel running the same size tire for March Meet 2024 for the Kings of the Sport? Good question right there. Brian Fox, he says, great show, Darren. I really do appreciate that, man. Really do appreciate that. Jeff says, awesome show. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you tuning in. Josh also goes on to say, Gary for the win. Yes, we'll be definitely tuning in and rooting on our man, Gary Wheeler Jr. out at Lufkin, Texas this upcoming weekend. Randy Long says, good show tonight. I really do appreciate that. Curtis Cara, appreciate your awesome coverage, Darren Williams Jr. I really do appreciate that, you guys. And then this man right here, Litany Noon Productions. I've been watching his videos on YouTube since I was like a little kid, since like 2009, when I was a teenager, watching his clips on YouTube and all the uploads he did for NHRA drag racing. And then my man, Justin, right there. Justin, I got to apologize to you, man. I went into my inbox today and I saw my drafts. I am so sorry. I literally thought I sent you that Adam Sorokin interview. I will send that to you tonight. I went through my inbox today and I was like, Justin, my bad, man. My bad. So I'll send that to you. As soon as I go off air, I'm going to send that to you, man. I really thought I sent it. Went in my inbox and saw my drafts and saw I didn't send it. So I'm going to get that out to you today, Justin. I really do appreciate it. And give a shout out to Justin. He's actually running the AAFD page. He does a great job on social media. So yeah, big shout out to him right there. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Appreciate that, Jim. And Larry. Really do appreciate it. Kurt Borden, he says, earplugs are one thing. You really need a gas mask for Top Fuel fire up. That is true. That is true. I forgot about that. Not only earplugs, but yeah, I don't want to get gassed out sitting behind that big old motor in a front engine Top Fuel class. So like I said, thank you guys all for tuning in tonight to episode 18 of the Kings of the Sport podcast. As always, I'm your host, Darren Williams Jr. The West Texas Hustler, Michael Anderson, should be back for our next show in just a few weeks. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in episode 19. Good night, everybody.